All right, Anthony, we want to get right into things. We first brought you this breaking news on our First Coast News app. This is out of Clay County. Sheriff Darryl Daniels given an ultimatum to resign or be arrested. This is following a sex scandal investigation. Now, First Coast News broke this story just about an hour ago, sending out a push alert to your phone. We want to get right out to On Your Side Robert Bradfield. He is standing by with the very latest details.
Well, Keitha, good evening. And our sources here inside the Clay County Sheriff's Office do tell us that Sheriff Daniels is in fact being booked as we speak tonight. We do want to also mention and sort of give you a history of this specific case. It really started in May of 2019 when the Florida Department of Law Enforcement opened an investigation at the request of State Attorney Melissa Nelson's office. Again, that started in May of 2019 when we were told that Sheriff Daniels had his mistress, a woman that he was having a relationship with, arrested on allegations of stalking. We then, as we've reported, said that Sheriff Daniels admitted to having that relationship with that woman for several years. That woman actually worked for Sheriff Daniels when he was actually the director of the Duval County Jail. She was a corrections officer. We do know also that that woman was stripped of her job as well. Also, last month, in terms of looking at the history of this investigation, State Attorney Melissa Nelson did ask Governor Ron DeSantis to assign a different office for this case specifically because she felt that one of her employees could be called as a witness in this case, and that could present a conflict of interest. But again, we are monitoring any movement here outside the Clay County Sheriff's Office. But our sources, again, do tell us that the sheriff is being booked. The charges specifically, we do not know yet, but if he is booked in the jail, we do assume that he will have his charges listed. Once that is listed, we will, of course, bring that to you. Also of note in terms of the timing here as well, the primary election for Clay County Sheriff is next Tuesday. That is August 17th. Early voting in this race as well continues through Saturday. We don't know specifically how this will play into the voting as well, but of course watching the primary election as voting does get underway for early voting, we should say, through Saturday, and then the primary election here is Tuesday as well. But once we do know more information here from Clay County, we will bring it to you. We're live tonight. Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, On Your Side.